Welcome back to the Queen City, and arguably the most popular zoo in America. We've already toured, in my opinion, the zoo's top 2 exhibits. Today's feature, while not as high profile of an attraction, is still a must-see on any visit to Cincinnati. That's right, after more than 50 tours, we're finally touring our first birdhouse. Birds of the World received a makeover in 2018 that removed a few outdated habitats, improved lighting, and rebranded the building's art and signage, giving it a fresh new feel. Before we get started, it is important to note that this video was filmed more than a year and a half ago, so the building species have undoubtedly changed somewhat. Nonetheless, this tour will still give you a good idea of what to expect when you visit the Birds of the World at the Cincinnati Zoo. Our avian adventure begins outside the building with the complex's only outdoor habitat, a mixed species yard for the less commonly displayed salmon-crested cockatoo, an endangered species found only on Indonesia's Seram archipelago and named for the distinct salmon color of the feathers on their crest, which rise when the bird is distressed or excited. Below them on the ground is the Australian native Cape Barren goose, a species once incorrectly believed to be an immature form of the black swan. From there, it's time to head inside, where you're immediately met with sliding glass doors that bring you into the first exhibit, and the building's best in my opinion. This is South America, home to around 10 species of birds, and one surprise that we'll get to in a moment. Among the trees, look for the blue-gray tanager, a small songbird found in 18 countries from Mexico down through most of the Amazon basin. The blue-crowned Motmot is an adaptable species that can thrive in many different forest habitats. Their signature call is a double hoot, similar to that of an owl. The yellow-rumped Cacique gathers in large numbers, with 100 nests being recorded in a single tree. Each colony will have their own unique songs to identify colony members from outsiders. It's impossible to miss the bright red Scarlet Ibis, who get their color from the crustaceans that they feed on. Another bird that aquatic creatures fear is the boat-billed Heron, whose large bill is specially shaped for scooping fish, shrimp, and frogs out of the water. On the rocks, you'll find the mustachioed Inca tern. Scientists hypothesize that a longer stash is a sign of a healthy tern. These cliff-dwelling seabirds were given the name Inca because they inhabit the same region once home to the ancient Incan Empire. Often hanging out closer to the viewing area is the Sunbittern. These normally solitary birds stalk silently through forested wetlands, catching prey with a lightning-quick strike. This unique bird is the only member of its family and one of only 2 species in its order. While their outward colors may be dull, the Sunbittern earns its name when it spreads its wings to reveal a brightly colored pattern that resembles rays of the sun. To the left of the viewing area is a tank for the building's only non-avian species, the bizarre Motmot turtle. One of nature's truly one-of-a-kind creations, this turtle's flattened body, covered by lumps, ridges, and flaps of skin, is perfect for camouflaging along the bottoms of streams and swamps, which serves the dual purpose of going unnoticed by potential predators and undetected by prey until they have wandered too close. Despite their unorthodox appearance, Motmotas have displayed some surprising intelligence, such as herding fish into shallow water for easy pickings. As you exit, you're met with walls of educational signage that teaches about the different habitats birds inhabit, as well as a list of species you can find right here in Cincinnati. Past the signage, what was once a standalone habitat is, as of my last visit, combined with our next stop, which is Australasia, the building's second walk-in exhibit, more modest than the first but still beautifully detailed and places you at ground level instead of elevated with the trees. The ground can be the best place to spot some of Australasia's residents, like the masked lapwing. These plovers have a hidden weapon in the form of a yellow spur on their wing, which they will use to defend their nest during the breeding season, giving them their alternative name, the spur-winged plover. The beautiful iridescent Nicobar pigeon is the closest living relative to the extinct dodo bird, which shockingly was a type of pigeon itself. While they are known for being shy, Nicobar pigeons will try to intimidate predators by making a threatening pig-like grunt. As you'd expect, the blue-faced honey-eater's favorite delicacy is insects, though they will also feed on pollen, berries, and nectar. The Bali Myna didn't want to hold still for the camera, and there it goes again. This critically endangered starling wasn't described by scientists until 1912, and today only an estimated 100 remain living within a single small region on the island of Bali. The blue-crowned laughing thrush, another critically endangered species that only numbers in the hundreds, was known from only 5 museum specimens as recently as 1988. But somehow neither the Bali Myna or the blue-crowned laughing thrush are the rarest bird in this exhibit. That honor goes to the Guam rail, a once numerous species that was driven to extinction on the island of Guam by the invasive brown tree snake. Reintroduction efforts have been underway since the 1990s, including here in Cincinnati, where the zoo has had success breeding the Guam rail. Despite these efforts, there is still less than 100 Guam rails living wild in protected areas. Though it wasn't a Guam rail, I did see one of Australasia's younger residents, who I wasn't able to confidently identify, so if anyone knows what species this is, let me know in the comments. While South America and Australasia are teeming with diversity, the building's third environment is home to just one species, the endangered thick-billed parrot of Mexico's mountain forest, the only extant species of parrot that once lived in the United States. Moving down the hall is the African savanna. On the ground, look for the habitat's largest resident, the 1.5-foot tall buff-crested bustard. Most likely perched above them, you'll spot crested kuas, the colorful but noisy golden-breasted starling who like to nest in abandoned woodpecker holes, and the speckled mousebird. Named for their somewhat mouse-like appearance and behavior, they are one of the few bird species to enter a state of torpor on colder nights to conserve energy. The habitat next to the savanna on my last visit still displayed the impressive rhinoceros hornbill, but the zoo's pair has recently moved to the new elephant trek exhibit. Their replacement in Birds of the World is a somewhat similar looking but unrelated species from a different rainforest region, the keel-billed toucan, who moved to the building from the zoo's jungle trails. Skipping by the interactive migration game since it was blocked off on my visit, the building's last 3 habitats take on an aquatic theme. First up, there's 2 exhibits featuring birds of the northern oceans. There's pigeon guillemots, common murres, Atlantic puffins, and the common eider, the largest duck in the northern hemisphere. These diving experts can dive up to 60 feet deep while foraging. As their common name would imply, they can be found all across rocky coast of North America, Europe, and even Siberia. Though their population numbers in the millions, they are still considered a near-threatened species and may face adverse effects from climate change and pollution. The second Northern Ocean's habitat is less diverse, but you'll find more murres, and this time horned puffins, who you can learn about in that video in the corner. Which leaves us with the last habitat in the building. Birds of the World concludes with penguins of the Sub-Antarctic Islands. You'll find 3 kinds: the Magellanic penguin, one of the recognizable tuxedoed penguins, the Southern rockhopper, the smallest of the crested penguins. Unlike many other birds, rockhopper penguin parents don't believe in elaborate nest building, preferring to lay their eggs in a few simple scrapes in the ground. Last, but certainly not least, is the regal king penguin. To survive in the freezing cold, king penguins have 4 layers of feathers. The inner 3 are thick for insulation, while only the outer layer is oily and waterproof. This final layer develops later, which is why king penguin chicks don't actually swim for the first 10 to 13 months of their life. Cincinnati's king penguins, who all have king-themed names, are quite the local celebrities due to their wintertime parades through the zoo, though the zoo did announce that this past winter's parades will likely be the final ones due to some of the penguins' advancing ages. And that ends the Birds of the World building at the Cincinnati Zoo. Only 9 total habitats, but in my opinion, you'll leave feeling like you saw much more than that. Thank you for watching, and look for my first ever aquarium exhibit tour coming next episode.